All right, what is up? We are live. Got a few things to touch on that weren't in the episode today. So, I'm going to start off with the Chicago Sports Commission. This via Bob Pockris, by the way, released a Temple University study. This year's Chicago Street Race, the event supported 865 jobs, 115 more than last year's race. 53,000 unique attendees took part in this year's festivities, up from 47,000 last year. Out of the 53,000 total unique attendees, 27,000 traveled to Chicago solely for or primarily for the event. So there's your tourism right there. 27,000 in tourism for that race. Pretty significant number. The 2024 Chicago Street Race generated 38,000 hotel room nights, up 29% from 2023, which had 29,000 hotel room nights. 80% of surveyed attendees would recommend Chicago as a travel destination. And 63% plan to return to Chicago for a vacation outside of the race. So that is a really key thing right there, because depending on which media you look at, some people are definitely afraid of Chicago. But it looks like because these people went to the race and actually experienced Chicago, it possibly changed their mind about it, or they fell in love with that area of Chicago and want to go back and visit. So that's pretty interesting, pretty cool as well. Underscoring the importance of the event and introducing new visitors to Chicago, over 11% of attendees said it was their first time in Chicago, more than twice as many as the previous year. So pretty cool. And Iceberg had a nice take on this as well. So I'm going to read what he had to say. He said, "This proves a few different things to me. One, bringing races to people does work very well." So for all, and I do agree with him there, for all of the comments about, you know, the Los Angeles Coliseum and then the Chicago street race. For all the detractors and things like that, not understand their points of view and things like that as well. It is expensive to put it on. Can NASCAR sustain that type of thing from year to year? Maybe, maybe not. But it does prove that there is a market for that. And maybe NASCAR was spending this money to see if that market exists for maybe other street races, like maybe a Long Beach or something, where they've already got a street race over there, or just, have a dedicated street race or something like that in the future that you don't necessarily have to build as much infrastructure in. But very interesting, and I think that was a good take there. And he said too, heavily promoting races locally can do wonders. I think he's got a very good point there. I remember back in the day, NASCAR promoted things very, very well. Brian France and way before him, that regime seemed to have a great understanding of promoting races locally. That somewhere along the line they didn't value it as much. They went with sort of a mainstream advertising focus on things. I guess things just got rolling so good that they didn't feel that they needed to market locally. But I remember the Chicago back when Charlotte had the All Star race. I remember that thing was marketed locally so heavily, and it was such a big event. Like, it was an all week thing. There was bands literally every night of the week. There was a band playing a street concert or something like that. There was always something to do around the racetrack in Charlotte, Concord area, the entire time the All Star. I just remember the advertisement for that being really, really great. So not only for the street race, but just all the races, if they can take that same model and generate the interest locally, and then do your regular marketing and stuff to get people to come in from out of town, I think that would be a good idea as well. And he said added entertainment that people actually care about will help draw people in. And there you go, the added entertainment. I just mentioned it earlier with having concerts in the streets and things like that. So yeah, just promote it properly, and it can be a positive thing. So great, great positive story there. It did affect positively the community in Chicago. Uh, the other thing that I wanted to get to, the ratings came in for Talladega, and this was via Adam Stern. I want to say, let me find it here. Yeah. Uh, NBC got a 1.74 rating and 3.127 million viewers for Sunday's NASCAR Cup race at Talladega, up 23% and 25% respectively from last year. So that is a huge, huge jump, up 23% in viewership. Now that can be attributed to possibly being on regular TV and things like that. But that is a huge, huge jump. I mean, 23% is nothing to sort of snub your nose at. So that is a great, great thing. And not only that, but I think they put on a great race. But I'm going to save the great race part for the next part of the sort of opening here, the cold open here. because I want to get to that in just a minute. And another thing, Carson Voppel, of course, going to JRM, that was the big deal. But of course, he leaves behind the JRM late model. So the big question around the garage was who is going to fill in that JRM late model, and they got a pretty good driver back to back, and your most recent NASCAR Weekly Series champion. Connor Hall is going to be the new driver of the Junior Motorsports. As new year, new number, new driver. Connor Hall joins Junior Motorsports in 2025, piloting the number 88. The number 88 for Junior Motorsports, of course, was the one that Josh Berry drove before they switched the number to 8 when Carson Voppel got in there. So going back to the 88 Chevrolet late model. So there you go. That is the new driver over there. And of course, this one deals with the poll question, the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Door incident. Kevin Harvick says on his podcast that it is a black and white rule. And some people were thinking it was a judgment rule because none of us really have a NASCAR rule book in front of us, as we are not, cup certified anything, So if it is a black and white, and that's why I said in the episode earlier, if it is a black and white rule, then the officials are incompetent. But also, you can look at it this way. All of NASCAR's rules are judgment call rules, because how many rules in the rule book does NASCAR have that from time to time they just completely ignore? So if you really want to get into it, every rule in NASCAR is a judgment rule because they just, or a judgment call, because they just, depending on the day of the week, they'll enforce this rule this way or they'll enforce this rule another way. And they're just consistently inconsistent. And I made a vow this season not to say consistently inconsistent, because I feel like for the last 3 years, I have overused NASCAR. The only thing NASCAR is consistent at is being inconsistent. And I was going to try not to say that this year, but you know what? The 28 car wreck is the poll question. Did you think the door issue was a big deal? Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s door issue was a big deal. Yes, no, or trick question. NASCARs have no door. I was trying to put race cars in there, but I ran out of room or something with the way I was wording it. So I had to go NASCARs there. So also that will infuriate a few people that I called it a NASCAR. So there you go. Quite enjoyable from that aspect as well. The other thing being the Kyle Larson deal, a lot of people thinking that was race manipulation. I talked about it that in the episode, but just real quick to go over that. My stance on that is I'm obviously biased because I like two Kyles, anybody at RCR and anybody driving the 43. So I can't look at it completely unbiased, but from my viewpoint, with that understanding, I don't see where it was really any type of race manipulation, because we've seen manufacturers work with each other. We've seen other drivers work with each other. If you're at a super speedway, plate track, whatever you want to call them, drivers like each other. They work with other drivers that they like. If you're going to get into manipulation from that aspect, every super speedway race has been manipulated by the person pushing behind them. So, it is what it is. And I feel like Brad Keselowski would have done the same thing if a Ford was leading and he wouldn't have pushed the Chevrolet to the win. I feel like it's fair play. It kind of stinks from one aspect of it. You don't want to see team orders come from the manufacturers. But also, on the other end of it, you understand the manufacturers spend a ton of money, and the manufacturing title, even though they don't really keep up with it, which Chevy is leading, by the way, right now. I think they got about a 47-point lead over Ford right now. Ford has a 2-point lead over Toyota for the second spot. So not completely decided with 5 races to go, but Chevy is in a pretty good spot for the manufacturer's title. So that's where I stand on the Larson issue. And then RCR, Richard Childress and Jeremy Mayfield chiming in, and apparently they are on the side of 2311. So there you go. Very interesting. Richard Childress basically saying what they wanted him to say. They wanted an owner to come out and say this. If you're 2311 in Front Row Motorsports, that they felt forced into this deal, like they didn't have a choice because of all the contractual obligations and the 400 employees in Richard Childress's case that he has to keep employed. And then Jeremy Mayfield, what skeletons in his closet, what receipts does he have that we might not know about, that he can give to the 2311 Front Row Motorsports lawyer, Jeffrey Kessler, to possibly further along their case, maybe help out their case somehow. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve over there, apparently, because he chimed in that he wanted to chip in as well. And I think that is all. So yeah, poll question once again before I jump into the comment section is, was Stenhouse door a big deal to you? Yes, no, or trick question, NASCARs have no door. So there you go. An assassin has no name, or whatever that was from Game of Thrones. All right, let's see what you guys want to talk about in the chat. So the Mets are up. The Mets and the Phillies. That's a pretty good series. I was expecting the Phillies to sort of run away with that one, but the Mets are giving them all they can stand. And as it stood when I was walking in here today, going into the ninth inning, the Mets were up 7-2. So I know that's exactly what you want to hear about on your racing live stream. So we'll jump into the rest of the comments here. All series and baseballs are tied right now. Says in between the lanes. What's up, Lanes? What's up, Chrome? Yes, I'm a Mets fan too, says Bruce Garvey. So a few Mets fans in the chat here today. You like the Knicks, Islanders, and Rangers for hockey as well, says Lanes. Would be a sellout for Chicagoland, but the place needs renovations. So yeah, I think especially with the way that this car runs at mile and a half, so I think Chicagoland would be a great show, and I think a lot of people would definitely go check that out for sure. Uh, One out in the ninth, says Lanes. They seriously need to have a street circuit through Times Square. I'm telling you, man, if they could ever pull it off, if they could ever pull off a street race, Project Gotham used to before you had Forza. Turn 10 made a video game called Project Gotham, which is what got me interested in Forza and basically addicted to Forza in the early 2000s. Uh, they had a Project Gotham, and Project Gotham had a fantasy track in Manhattan, and that thing was awesome. That was a really rad track. Like you just felt there was a straightaway that you just felt like you were going forever, forever, forever in that straightaway, and then you just had to lock up the brakes and pray that you locked them up fast enough, and then let off the brakes, cut your wheel, stomp the gas like it was a hairpin turn, a long straightaway into a hairpin turn. It was a crazy course, but yeah, if they could ever get a Manhattan track, that would be amazing. I don't know logistically how that would work out, but that would be pretty crazy. That would be, I think, it would be very popular, and it would also, because it's New York, it would be equally popular and unpopular at the same time. I don't know exactly how it would go, but hopefully it would be a positive thing. Opening night in hockey as well, says in between. Okay, so the NHL is back. That means the NBA is right around the corner, because usually maybe two weeks before the NBA is the NHL. Was Blaney's track comments on par? Says one wise guy. He got a lot of heat for that, but I don't know. Bowman said himself that he drove through him, so I don't know. That's between them. They were sitting in the car, like you can feel the push, so I don't know. I'll let those two settle it. It's Blaney though. I mean, as soon as he gets out of the race car, you know how he is with when his adrenaline's going. I don't really take anything that Blaney says when his adrenaline's going too seriously. So it is what it is. He did drop a F-bomb. I saw that on the Kenny Wallace Dale Jr. Download show. Kenny Wallace and Ken Schrader, I guess I should throw that in. They are going to have a show on Dirty Mo Media as well coming up soon. So the Midwest now has a show because that's where it's going to be held from. And it's going to be the Kenny and Kenny show. Kenny gets top billing there was the joke going on in that episode. If you missed it, 7-2 Mets win. So the Mets have tied it up with the Phillies, I guess. BB Wood drivers need to step it up next year, says OJ and Toothpaste. Ooh. There is a few, I would say. First off, John Hunter Nemechek's gonna have to stop crashing as much, and I'm not trying to pick on the guy. I think the guy's got a ton of talent, but he just wrecks way too much. He's got to clean that up significantly. He's had a ton of races where he's had a lot of speed, and a lot of people were proud of him, like, oh yeah, he's running good, but then he gets into an incident. He's got over a 50 or 60% crash rate, or at least incident rate, I think. I need to go back to the Daily Downforce and check it out. Daily Downforce, by the way, keeps a monitor of incidents per driver, so you can go there and check that out if you ever want to check it out. But he was by far ahead of everybody else as far as incidents, so he's got to clean that up. He would be one. Eric Jones is another one. Part of it is Legacy's equipment, but also part of it, Eric Jones has to run better. I was fully expecting him to be in the playoffs the way him and Dave Ellens finished, and obviously Dave Ellens is gone. So that's going to be an interesting thing to look at over there at Legacy. How many more changes are coming from Legacy? Is John Hunter Nemechek even going to be back? The way that they're swapping things around at Legacy, I know they signed Eric Jones, so I know he's probably coming back. But there's just a lot of movement over there at Legacy, so it might look totally different next season. Tyler Reddick in the playoffs has not been the Tyler Reddick in the regular season. He's starting to remind me of Martin Truex Jr. a little bit. So he's been super interesting as far as his playoff. He keeps squeaking in there though. So, and all you need to do is show up in Phoenix, but he's concerning me a little bit because he was one of my favorites to be in the Final Four. When the playoffs started, he just has not looked like he's had the same speed. And you can put your tinfoil hat on easily with that one, right? Is NASCAR making their tech harder because of the lawsuit and stuff like that? So there's all kinds of different tentacles and angles to that one that you can look at as well. Who's another guy? Kyle Busch, I feel like, and Austin Dillon needs to clean up the DNFs as well. That's another guy who I'm surprised. He's typically does not have that many DNFs. He's typically been a guy that does finish a lot of races. These last two seasons have been very uncharacteristic for him as far as that goes. Kyle Busch has had a lot of DNFs this season too. So if you look at Kyle Busch without the ton of DNFs that he had this year, he's probably in the playoffs as much as people want to talk about the RCR equipment early in the season, which was off a little bit. But even saying that, if he hadn't had those DNFs, probably has a much better shot of getting into the playoffs. Um, Ross Chastain is running really well now, but he needs to put a full season together. He always has one half of the season that he looks really amazing in, and one half of the season that he doesn't look as good in. If he can get both of those going, he'll be a force to reckon with, and I think he will next season. He's just still a young driver, and he's going to get it going. And I say young driver, but young in the sense that he hasn't had as many laps as other people in top tier equipment. So I think he'll get it together next year as well. That's just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a ton more that I'm missing that I'm not thinking about, but those would be the ones that just immediately spring to my mind as far as that question goes. In between the lanes, I grew up in a town of Bruins Farm Club, so I'm shortly go Mets. I'm guessing Kenny Wallace to Dirty says in between the lanes. Hello everyone in the chat. What's up, OJ and Toothpaste? Good to have you in here, my friend. OJ and John Hunter Nemechek says one wise guy. Bring back the Bruce Garvey. Nice says in between the lanes. Bring back the Charlotte Oval, says Timber Ace. So yeah, a lot of people don't want the Roval anymore. So that's an ongoing conversation as well. One wise guy agrees, says OJ. In between the lanes, can't wait for the Knicks this season. BB, does Long John Silver's have the best fresh seafood in the world on Earth too? Without question, Long John Silver's is the best seafood restaurant on the planet on Earth too. And if you know about it too, you know where I'm going with that. Is NASCAR with NASCAR, if the shoe fits, very inconsistent this season? Yeah, every season. But I did make it a dedicated effort that I was not going to harp on that this year because I feel like I just repeat it over and over again. So I'm trying to. I'm just trying to stay away from it. But sometimes it does need to be brought up. And I do think that they will change the damaged vehicle policy in some capacity in the off season. So, and they pretty much come out and said just as much. So we'll see how it plays out in the future. Bruce Garvey, Knicks are going to be good. Nova Knicks didn't want to see DiVincenzo go to Minnesota. Towns can help the Knicks. It says Lane, the NASCAR rulebook can be found at your local library. It's in the fiction section, says like dislike. Oh, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one there. Like, see what you did there. BB, thoughts on the Jets firing their coach, says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know necessarily that the coach was the problem, but I don't know. That's all I can say about that one. Hopefully, if it all plays out, maybe he can go back to being the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Nothing against the current staff. Robert Saleh is just a really, really good defensive coordinator and would love to have him back in San Francisco. But that's my only real thoughts on that. NASCAR rules written on a whiteboard. Erase it and put a new rule in, says Chrome Diesel. OJ and Toothpaste. Never easy being a Jets fan. BB, I think Elton Sawyer needs to hire a PR person to do his interviews. So yeah, Elton Sawyer catches it. Like Elton Sawyer is just the guy they send out there to basically get yelled at. So that's pretty much Elton Sawyer's job. Whenever something goes wrong, they tried out Elton Sawyer to take all of the arrows. So he's just the new NASCAR punching bag because Steve Phelps or whoever else didn't want to do it anymore. I haven't been a big fan of the Roval, but maybe the changes, because all the decisions that are made are pretty much made above Elton Sawyer's head. He just enforces them, in my opinion. I haven't been a big fan of the Roval, but maybe the changes to the track will make it more entertaining. Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting race. I think there's going to be another, according to the statistics I've looked at, if you go with the favorite, I think there's going to be another non-playoff driver that wins that race. But we'll get to that on Sunday. BB, if 2311 in front row doesn't win this case, what do you think will happen? I think even if they win this case, the same thing's going to happen. They will continue racing, and randomly in the playoffs every year, one of their cars is going to get teched, and something's magically going to be illegal, at least for a couple years. Because I just feel like NASCAR is going to be petty like that. DBC made the comment that they should have a person in the truck on the track or to judge if the car is truly damaged, or just get rid of it and give them one chance to get the car put all the way back together. And the other thing is they brought it up on the Dale Jr. Download with Kenny Wallace. maybe we take a look. The first major thing that needs to be redesigned on this next gen car is the wheels and the tires. Maybe have a tire big enough so that you can have an inner liner in there, and that'll get rid of a lot of this problem as well. Because without question, if you remember back in the day with the wheel, the biggest reason the manufacturers wanted to look like that is an aesthetic thing. An aesthetic thing. It's not necessarily a performance or anything else thing. So maybe make the rim a little bit smaller, make the sidewall a little bit bigger, so you can get an inner liner in there, and a lot of this problem goes away. So I think that will be probably the best thing. BB, will the Vikings go undefeated this year, 17-0? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know, man. It's been a crazy year. I stopped predicting NFL games, so I'm just out. I'm sitting back and enjoying the NFL because it's been pretty crazy this season. If a tire melted to the door panel, what would happen if the car catches fire? Says PC gone rogue. If a tire melted to the door panel, that would I don't see how that would happen. I don't see how a tire could melt to the door panel and catches on fire. But if a car catches on fire, the driver would stop and get out of the car. I don't know exactly where you're going at with that one. Howdy from the Great White North. I'm okay. Mighty Mouse winning. He says Robin Marks. He might. He's pretty good there. Do you think Junior will win the appeal? That's a good question. I mean, it's a ride height rule. It's pretty cut and dry as far as that stuff goes. They'll have to prove that there was some race damage that caused the ride height to drop. So those have been about 50-50. So I'd give them about a 50-50 chance of winning that one. October 22nd, Knicks Celtics on banner, only on TNT. We know drama. What's up, Lovey Barkley? Good to see you on here, my friend. Spot on with John Hunter Nemechek. Funny that Toyota wanted to sign him over Gregson. And I would argue he ran quite a bit better than him this season. Yeah, Noah Gregson has had a pretty good season, all things considered. So Chevrolet is discontinuing the Camaro, but NASCAR is still going to use the Camaro, but rename it the ZL1. Do I have that right? Says Bruce Reed. As far as all the badging we've seen so far, it just says Chevrolet ZL1, kind of the same thing they did with the Chevrolet SS when they ran that for a little while. Just rebadged the name and didn't call it the Monte Carlo. It was just the SS, and they brought over the Holden Monero and rebadged that as the SS. Tyler Reddick performance hasn't been the same since Charter wasn't signed. I think it's a distraction. It could be. That's a good point too. That's another way of looking at it. Another good angle. But yeah, so all the Charter stuff is definitely affecting that team, depending on how you look at it and what angle you want to come at it from. Yeah, 100%. I think you're right about that, Dirty Diff. Good point. BB, would you like to see a Cup or Xfinity race held in London in a future season during the summer? I think that would be great. Like if they could pull it off, I think it would be great to have a race over there. I know a lot of people would give a lot of pushback on it, but I think it would be really cool. It's worked really well for college football. It's worked really well for the NFL. So I think a NASCAR race over there would be great because it would. A lot of people that aren't familiar with NASCAR, I know there's a lot of great English fans over there that know what NASCAR is and appreciate it. But there's a lot of people, casuals, that have no idea that NASCAR runs on street courses or road courses. So I think it would be interesting at the very least. I know they've got Euro NASCAR over there as well, but I think it would be just a whole different deal. That car is totally different from this car though. So I think it would be a totally different. I think it could be a very successful thing. I think it would be a good thing. Logistically and money wise, I don't know I don't know how they would pull that off. That would be a different animal altogether. But F1 makes it work. So if F1 makes it work, NASCAR can make it work. F1 comes from basically most F1 teams are in London, England. So they come over time to COTA, and they have the Las Vegas race, Miami GP. So that if they make it work, NASCAR can make it work as well. Tyler Reddick performance hasn't been the same since the charter wasn't signed. I think it's a distraction. I think I just read that one. 3 non-playoff drivers won the first 5 races instead of getting credit for winning, though. They're told they're not in the playoffs instead, says Napa Racer fan. Yep, that's just the age we're in. It's all about the playoffs in this NASCAR that we're in now. Congrats, Chastain, Buescher, and Stenhouse for not being in the playoffs. LOL. Yeah, it is interesting that's how they interview them as soon as they get out of the car. It's kind of a slap in the face. It's like, congratulations, you sucked all season. Why did you decide to win now? It is a weird way to conduct an interview. I agree with you 100%. Jets DC Jeff Ulrich will be interim head coach. There you go. There is your interim head coach for the Jets. Perry Earl, the problem with them changing the DVP is that they will leave themselves plenty of gray areas and judgment calls. Yeah, but I feel like the DVP is a judgment call too, so I don't know. I don't know if you're expecting NASCAR to be consistent on stuff like that. Don't hold your breath. I don't know. AJ Allmendinger is undefeated at the Roval. 5 starts, 1 cup, 4 Xfinity. All of them are wins. So yeah, look for AJ Allmendinger to be very strong there. Shane Van Gisbergen will be running in the Roval as well. He'll be running the number 13 car for Colleague Drama Car, the new TV reality show coming to a network near you, says Mark Barnum. For the big one, NASCAR told them to tow the chase drivers to their pit box, Chase Briscoe and Chase Elliott. So yeah, maybe that's the adjustment they make going forward. BB, will SVG win this weekend or on Sunday? Uh, he's got a good chance as anybody. You never know. You never know. I know new drama show is Law and Order Organized Charters. Here you go. The new SV what would it be? Law and Order OC Organized Charters. It's a raw. It's big. Ross has won at different types of track. I think Reddick, Ross, Busher are the best overall drivers who don't drive for Penske, JGR, Brad K, KFE. Made their names with other teams. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list of non, I guess, like elite teams. I think that's a pretty good list. I like your picks there. Problem is, if you want to put a smaller rim on while putting more rubber would force everyone to smaller brake rotors. I mean, yeah, like I said, in engineering, when you fix one problem, you create 2 or 3 more. So it's always going to be a balancing act as far as that goes. Keselowski and Busher did not have part of the roof rails on their car during the race. They were there for qualifying, but they took them off somewhere before the race, and you can clearly see it, says Lovey Barkley. So there you go. There's the next. There's the next conspiracy to tackle. Well, I haven't seen that, but if that's true, that's a bad deal. So hopefully, hopefully that gets sorted out. That's the ultimate, man. That's the ultimate of cheating right there. What if Brad Keselowski had won, and then somebody pointed out that the roof rail was missing? That would be, if it is missing. Like I've got to go back and check on that. I haven't quite seen that yet, but yeah, that would be, man, that'd be a big deal for sure. Maybe if a driver turned around at Talladega in frustration and hit the lead pack head on, would he be kicked out of NASCAR forever? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know about that. Probably in the Cup Series, yes, but that has actually happened at a short track. It was Lee Pulliam. It was the 26 car. I can't remember if it was Philip Morris or if it was Peyton Sellers, but I want to say Lee Pulliam turned his car around, and it might have been Philip Morris. I want to say Philip Morris, but I'm not 100% sure. But Lee Pulliam on a short track at South Boston turned his car around and did ram head on Philip Morris. I want to say it might have been Peyton Sellers. One of those three had some. They're iconic, but they had their battles. But that was the ultimate. So what they did with Lee Pulliam, they suspended him for a year. So he only lost a year for doing it. But that was under pace laps. So I know under pace laps, I can tell you for certain, at least at the short tracks, that it's going to be a 1 season penalty for that. Isn't the ZL1 in the Corvette? The Corvette's the Z06. The ZL1 is the Camaro. ZL1's a handling package. It doesn't have anything to do with the. It's a Chevrolet has a code, so Z is like a handling package. I don't know what the L1 stands for, but the Z is like your road race and handling package. So the Z06 is the Corvette version. ZL1 is the Camaro version. 1LE is the one I think that's a performance package that they can slap on either one. But I need to go back and look at that because I'm just a little bit foggy on it as far as my street car nomenclature and codes go. As far as the Chevrolet family goes, the 47 had damage that is mandatory to fix. The 6 was missing a roof rail. Maybe the 24 is the winner, says Duke Chronic. So yeah, I mean, you can look at it either way you want to look at it, but at the end of the day, NASCAR makes the calls. NASCAR didn't call them, so it's only. Here's the deal: it's only cheating if you get caught. NASCAR didn't catch them, so it is what it is. But yeah, if they did that, the 24 would be the winner. So it's interesting. Cedric's tire melted to the side of the Stenhouse car and made the hole. So yeah, okay, if you're talking about that foam in there doesn't the foam in there doesn't stop heat or anything, because if you remember, Kevin Harvick's foam in there caught on fire. So that's not to stop heat, that's to stop impact, and some of that foam was still there. So from a melting standpoint, I don't know. It's just a NASCAR rule that they need to look at. It's not anything I ever would think about, like, because to me, and I showed you the picture on the video today. To me, it's as safe as it can be with that steel sheet there. So to me, it's not a safety issue. It's not going to help him aerodynamically because you don't want a hole in your door. So it's not a performance advantage. And if it's not a performance advantage and it's not a safety issue, do you really need to repair it? I don't know. How do you repair it? Stick a piece of tape there? I mean, is that what it's come down to? He's getting thrown out because they didn't stick a piece of tape there. I don't know. So as far as that goes, I feel like we watched a great race at Talladega. And I feel like sometimes we just go out of our way to find things to be upset about as NASCAR fans. I know my breaking point was Austin Dillon. Like we all have our breaking points. So I'm not talking bad about anybody. Obviously, my breaking point was Austin Dillon getting thrown out for wrecking to win when we've seen a million guys wreck to win, right? So obviously that was my breaking point. But maybe this is the breaking point for some people. I just don't see it as a big deal. Like the door having a hole in it just wasn't a big deal to me. So I don't know, but everybody has their breaking point. So it is what it is. BB, will Deshaun Watson win MVP this year? And I don't think Austin Dillon would have been thrown out if he was top like 15 in points, but he wasn't. So they threw him out. All of a sudden, wrecking for the win was bad. So in my opinion, that's what happened. They can go back and say what they want to about it. The cars are carbon fiber, says PC Gone Rogue. Will Deshaun Watson win the MVP this year? Maybe on Earth 2. On Earth 2, where he's a good guy and is not a complete piece of garbage outside of the football field. I think NASCAR isn't worried about towing a car to the pits that is leaking fluid, says Duke Chronic. Nobody's talking about what is going to happen with Zane Smith and Riley Herbst, what was supposed to be the third charter for Front Row Motorsports in 2311. So they are supposed to wait around to find other rides. Yeah, basically that's the holdup. And like I said, Kevin Harvick's the only one that says Zane Smith and Ford are on the outs and he wouldn't be going to Front Row. But from everything I've heard, Zane Smith is going to Front Row and Riley Herbst is going to 2311. But the lawsuit is sort of maybe putting a snag in that. So I think that's why all that stuff hasn't been announced yet. BB, I agree with you that someone from NASCAR needs to inspect a damaged car before it goes back out, or a team could send a car out there to get a caution for a teammate, says Bruce Garvey. Yeah, like having an official just check it, and you've got one attempt to make minimum speed and not have pieces of the car fall off. I think that's the fairest way to do it. BB, who's better, O'Reilly Auto Advance or AutoZone? I don't know. I feel like O'Reilly's and Advance are about the same, so I'll go with one of those. But I like Napa better than both of them. Let's see. I think Sunday will be CarQuest was the best back in the day. I think Sunday will be the last non-playoff first-time winner of the season. I think there's a good chance that you're right about that. Earth 2, circa 2027, Chevy begins running a new and revamped Chevelle. That would be cool. I would love to see a Chevelle come back. BB, would you ever play GoldenEye on a live stream during the off season? I would watch. If I still had a gaming system, I would play GoldenEye. GoldenEye is a classic. I haven't played that since probably 1999, 2000, somewhere in there. Elton Sawyer said that the screws were still on the RFK cars, but all the parts on the screws should be holding together weren't on there. There you go. So Elton Sawyer is aware of it. I hadn't even heard about this one, so I don't know. So many controversies post race. So many. If you look at the replay of the finish, you can see when Stenhouse and Keselowski are side by side. It's just straight white roof on Keselowski. Says Lovey Barkley. BB, the worst. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. BB, the worst food you ever had at a NASCAR. Chat is all over the place. We're jumping all over the place. BB, the worst food you ever had at a NASCAR track and the best. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Martinsville hot dogs, but I'm not going to call them the worst. I'll say they're the most overrated. Obviously, I'm going to go Homer on a bologna burger as being the best. I don't know, the redneck fries, I think they call them at Langley. Those are pretty good. So those are the good ones. And I guess Martinsville hot dogs most overrated, but it's not bad. I just feel like they make too big of a deal about it. But did Brad's crew take it off? 47 didn't do that. The 2 car, I believe. I think the 17 was missing also. If you had to pick, will a playoff driver or non-playoff driver win the Roval this weekend, says Dirty Def? Let's see. I think it's going to be a non-playoff driver, but I'm going to hold that for Sunday because I've got who I think is going to win, but I'll save that for Sunday. But I will tell you this: it's in my pick is going to be a non-playoff driver. Let's see. What's up, Oscar Ramirez? NASCAR and bad officiating. What else is new? There you go. There you go. I'm with you, Napa Racing fan. Like you can nitpick NASCAR's officiating all day, every day, because it's always going to be they did it. It's literally week to week here, right? Last week, Josh Berry was parked. This week, 7 or 8 cars were allowed back on track. I mean, NASCAR is just consistently inconsistent. I was not going to say that this year, or at least I was going to try not to say that this year, but here we are. I heard Eric Church was a fan of Talladega since he wrote a song about it. It says in between the lanes, indeed. There is the merch link there from One Wise Guy. Appreciate you, One Wise Guy. BB, will we ever see another Kenseth Logano Martinsville incident again? As sure as the sun comes up. If you live long enough, you will see another one like that. 100%, I guarantee it. Let's see. There's the Discord link also if you want to join the Discord. Had some good conversations going on Discord today too. Sam, can you get my tinfoil hat? I'm listening to Baloney Burger and the chat is making some good points. Says like dislike. As much as I like the Roval, this Gen 7 car ain't good. Yeah, I think there's some things that need to be tweaked on the Gen 7 car for sure. And to be fair to the Gen 7 car, the other cars were basically just iterations of a car that they had around since the 50s and 60s. So uh, give this car or what they're trying to do with this car another 10 or 15 years and they might have it much better. So that's the one thing I'll say about this car, but I do think this car needs to be tweaked just a little bit. Man of the 47 won, end of story. He probably wouldn't have won or had a chance to win any other race other than Daytona. I mean, he's a super speedway specialist. There's no doubt about that. Logano got penalized for the webbed glove after people pointed it out. Stenhouse, Keselowski, and Busher could get got. That's a good point, CY. That is a good point. NASCAR, if you make a big enough stink about it on social media, I guess that's the thing. If you want to make a big enough stink about it on social media, that's usually when NASCAR sort of bends the knee. They will bend the knee that way. So that is a consistent thing. So when it becomes a big deal, sometimes NASCAR will change their minds if they get pressure from social media, which is interesting. Opposite of NASCAR back in the day. Back in the day, NASCAR was like, we do what we want. But now it's a different time for sure. But yeah, definitely good point there. Also pointing out the differences. You know, Logano did something and didn't get penalized, and then these guys something happens and they Logano got penalized. These guys don't get penalized. I think I said that wrong. Larry Mack had the line of the day when they told him that Denny Hamlin was very critical of Talladega race on his podcast. And Larry says, what isn't Denny Hamlin critical of, says Dirty Duff. Hey, so there you go. Larry Mack has joined. He has clearly picked his side. He is not on Denny Hamlin's side in this particular lawsuit. So he has made it known where he stands, and he is firmly on the side of NASCAR. Smith is greater than Jones. Excited for the JRM lineup in 2025. It's going to be, once again, Xfinity is going to have some of the best storylines. Xfinity this season was great with good storylines. Glad Jones is back with JGR next season, says Napa Racing fan. What's worse, charters, DVP, or stage cautions? I don't know. But I'll say this. Charters, the main reason I don't like charters is because it makes qualifying irrelevant. So I don't like charters. The damaged vehicle policy, that could easily be fixed by just getting rid of the timer and having an official be the new policy there. Stage cautions, I don't have a problem with stages and the awarding of points at that moment, but the stage caution just basically puts everybody on the same strategy unless the race is long enough, like a Coke 600 or something like that, where you have where you're going to have at least 2 additional pit stops for gas and stuff like that. So they all have their those to me, those are the main weaknesses of each point there. Hurricane Milton looks awful. I hope everyone in Florida is safe. Indeed, OJ and toothpaste. I'm with you on that one. It has at last I looked at it was downgraded to a category 4, and it had gone away from the Tampa area, which they thought was going to get the biggest hit. But it's still going to hit Florida. So just keep everybody in mind over there in Florida. Hopefully it's not as bad as it could be, because at one point it was going to be a category 5 when it hit, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. So hopefully everybody over there stays safe. Is AMC Matador, and hopefully the publics are all still standing at the end of the day. Is AMC Matador the best car for NASCAR on Earth 2? I'm going to go with AMC Pacer. So if we're going Earth 2, I probably have to go Pacer over Matador there, Chrome Diesel. But yeah, Matador definitely a strong pick there. Never had a bologna burger here in Alabama, or didn't know if I had one. LOL, says Dirty Def. They're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. I mean, it's processed food, so it's really salty. So get your Coke, get your peanuts and Coke, and get your bologna burger down there. It'll go pretty good there. Or in your case, your beverage of choice. I don't want to offend your employer there. So get your beverage of choice and put some peanuts in it and enjoy your bologna burger down there. Who's to blame more for the 28 car, the Dega Rex, Cindric for pulling out too far, or Keselowski and Logano with their typical super speedway shenanigans? As far as that goes, it's just a racing incident. So the answer to your question is yes. Cindric went out way too far, and Keselowski and them had way too big of a push to try to push Cindric. They probably should have tried to pass him. But yes, the answer to your question is yes. But that being said, they're trying to make sure a Ford wins. So they're doing the right thing. They just didn't execute it. So a little bit of blame goes on each party there. And whoever was pushing the 22, because somebody said the 22. And you can also throw some blame on the 38. 38 was serving that penalty, and he sort of got in the way, and a lot of people saw him. It's not his fault, but he was part of the cause of that as well. So put as much blame on whoever you want to. It's at the end of the day, it's just plate racing, in my opinion. On Earth 2, NASCAR races in the snow in Bristol. Indeed, and thoughts and prayers go to Bristol. They're going through it as well. I did see where Darlington opened up. They're going to open up their track for people to help aid people in the area with all these natural disasters going on. So shout out to all the good people over there at Darlington. BB, were you mad at the Kenseth taking out Logano at Martinsville? Was it chicken crap? Says OJ and Toothpaste. Depends on what car you pulled for. If you're a Logano fan, you hated it. If you're a Matt Kenseth fan, you loved it. Some Matt Kenseth fans didn't love it, actually, though, because they always saw Matt as a really clean driver, and they were disappointed that he did that. So it just depends on what perspective you come at it from. Me personally, I just thought it was entertaining. Like it was what it was. Like that type of racing doesn't bother me because I'm at the short tracks like all the time. So that, to me, that's just something that happens. Like Kenseth sent a message. He's like, "Hey, don't wreck me again, or I'm going to wreck you and ruin your playoffs or whatever." So to me, it's just a racing deal. That's how racing deals were back in the day. I know we're a kinder, nicer sport now, apparently. So I don't know. I grew up an Earnhardt fan, so it didn't bother me. Let's see. BB tired of stage cautions in the Xfinity race. The cars were coming back to green on lap 7 of 25 after stage cautions. Yeah, it's interesting. What's going on, BB? What's up, Thunderstrikes? Good to see you on here, my friend. Keselowski has 1/3 of the roof rail missing, and Stenhouse has a hole in the door and no disqualifications. Meanwhile, last year Harvick got disqualified for the way the windshield was attached to the car, says Lovey Barkley. Great point, dude. Like, I mean, that's quintessential NASCAR. Like that's what we've sort of been like going through since the inception of the sport, really. So that hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is the amount of money in the fines are way higher now. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like NASCAR has always been like that. That's just the way it's. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it's always been. That's why I say even when it's a black and white rule, it's a NASCAR judgment call because they decide when they're going to enforce a rule and when they're not going to enforce a rule. It's at every level from cup all the way down to the weekly stuff. Like it is mind-numbingly infuriating. Like it is just I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so just it's just the way it is. Not that the way it is great, but it's just the way it is, the way it always has been. Hopefully not the way it always will be, though. Denny Hamlin should be sponsored by Kleenex on his Actions Detrimental or Actions Hypocritical show. Nothing but crying and moaning, says OJ and Toothpaste. I think he would take the Kleenex deal. I think he would be more than happy. I think he would have fun. I think Denny Hamlin would probably have more fun with a Kleenex sponsorship than any other driver in the sport. I feel like he could try to spin that to his advantage. So might not be the worst option there. Gen 7 car. Hasn't been great on road courses, but I thought this season on road courses had been a lot better than the previous 2 cars. Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Chicago street course were all good. I think so too. And for whatever reason, it races better on street courses than it does actual like road courses. So maybe maybe you need less grip at a road course for this car to race a little bit better because the tires are so wide and they've got so much grip. I don't know. That's just a thought. BB, who do you think will be inducted in the NASCAR Hall of Fame? Hamlin, Truex, Junior, KFB, or Bad Brad? Who do I think will be inducted first? Or first? I think all of them will be inducted. Uh, Possibly all of them will be first ballot. So I don't know. I don't know. Truex probably first because he's retired first, so he'll probably go in before them because he's going to have a year in front of them. So as far as timeline goes, he'll go in before them. But I think all these guys will probably be first ballot guys. They said the crash this weekend was the most cars with 28, but in 1960 they had a 37 car wreck in Daytona in the Daytona 500. Says Lovey Barkley. So yeah, maybe they mean the modern era with 40 cars, but yeah, back in the day when they had just a ton of cars out there. I forget how many cars would be trying to qualify at some of these races. But yeah, back in the day, I feel like they had some races with 50 some cars in it, maybe more than that. I need to go back and look at. I need to go back and look at what was the most entered cars in one NASCAR race because I bet it's ungodly. Back in the day, they did some wild stuff. Back before OSHA ruined the world. OJ and toothpaste. I'm joking. OSHA's great. Two still one of the best delivery guys. Says in between the lanes on Earth 2, if you get damaged vehicle policy, you're automatically starting on the front row, says OJ and Toothpaste. That's the kind of talk we like to hear, OJ. That's exactly right. IMSA gives top five some stage points on some mark of the race. Ironically, no caution, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, that's the way it is. And I think for you got like a point for leading halfway back in the day under the Latford system, if I'm remembering correctly. Stage cautions are a good waste of 40 minutes every race with added planned commercial breaks with pace laps and pit stops. Yeah, they're definitely there for a commercial break. There's no doubt about that. But you can still have the commercial break and not have a caution. Like it's not necessary to have the caution to have a commercial break. Chrome Diesel going with the Pacer for Earth 2. BB, who sells the best tires? America's Tire, Mavis, Firestone, or Les Schwab? I'm going to go with Hoosier. I'll go with Hoosier. I'll go outside the box there for you, OJ. I'm going to go with Hoosier on that one. I like stage breaks everywhere, but super speedways. That would end the fuel savings with this car. I think the stage breaks actually help road courses. I don't know. I just don't like stage breaks personally, but I get it if you do. It breaks it up on a road course. But it also takes some of the strategy out of it. But then Michael McDowell had to go out there and skunk up the show the one time they tried it. So it is what it is. BB, have you ever had a bad experience taking your truck or car to a mechanic? Yeah, I have. And I'll leave it at that. When I went to Pocono, race last summer, me and my brother went to get food 10 laps before the stage ends, says Chrome Diesel. Appreciate keeping my soda pop secret. I sure wish the company I work for would have a presence again in the sport. I'm with you, my man. I miss those cars as well. They had some good ones. They had some bad ones back in the day too, but they also had some good ones. Mark my words, the truck at the Charlotte Roval next year will be the dumbest race in NASCAR history. Trucks at the Roval make no sense other than for pure chaos and entertainment. There you go. That's the name of the game, entertainment. Matt Kenseth just got more fans than he's ever had. Chad Knaus over the radio, making every NASCAR fan happy is impossible, says Next Gen. It is, but that's part of the fun of the sport, right? You get to give your opinion, and people get to give their opinion, and that's the fun of sports for real. If everybody had the same opinion, how boring would the world be, right? If it was the old chase format or full season, I'm sure Larson kept pushing to get a bigger points cushion. But what do I know? LOL, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah. If it's the old points format, I think Larson probably comes back from Indianapolis. Most likely, but I don't know. It's Indianapolis. Maybe he doesn't. What do you think about manufacturer's orders? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it too. They pay a ton of money and they want to win the manufacturer's championship, so I'm fine with it. I understand where they're coming from too. I don't necessarily love it. I'm not in love with it, but I understand it and I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? Like I understand where they're coming from. Truck races are too short. No need for stage breaks. Hey, amen, Chrome Diesel. NASCAR inconsistently inconsistent on penalties, says OJ and Toothpaste. Going with a double negative there. I like it. Denny Hamlin and Kyle for a piece of tape. Says like dislike. Jamie, all of them will be, says OJ and Toothpaste. He can pass out tissue packs at driver intros. Just imagine the commercials he would cut for a Clinics commercial too. I meant who would be first, says Jamie Schweitzer. Carl Edwards said he would, yeah, Martin Truex Jr. because he's the first one to retire. I'm going to go with there. Carl Edwards said he would drive again if they put 900 horsepower back in the cars. Yeah, so he's not going to drive again, right? So Carl Edwards announces he's not going to drive by asking for more horsepower. That's how that headline would I read. How about the repave made the Sonoma race better? I heard somebody say maybe the next gen is the best at a freshly paved racetrack. Yeah, so maybe that's part of it. Maybe the fresh paved sections on the street courses are what's helping them out. I think the most cars ever was 63, says Lovey Barkley. So 63, we'll go with that. Sounds good. Jimmy Spencer would give the crying towel to fans, says next gen. The Kenny Wallace download today must have been interesting. Oh yeah, I didn't see all of it, but the parts I saw of it, Kenny did a pretty good job. Like I said, he announced a new show with Ken Schrader as well. That'll be coming out pretty soon. I could be very wrong about that, but I think it was 63. 63 works for me, my man. Did you catch the Kligerman impact Saturday? That was rough. Yeah, he took a shot. He took a shot for sure. There was a few shots here at Talladega. The guys took. Ross Chastain took a shot as well. I was surprised he walked around well. He got out gingerly, but during his interview, he was walking around just fine. So Carl Edwards was on inside the playoffs. BB, did you hear the five spotter telling him not to push the six to the win? Yeah, I talked about that at the top of the show. Like I said, I don't see that being race manipulation. I know a lot of people are like that's race manipulation at a super speedway. That's just you know everybody drives how they drive. So if you want to go to race manipulation on a super speedway, literally every car pushing the other car in front of them is race manipulation. So I don't know, kind of a reach there. Does it stink in some aspects that manufacturers work with manufacturers and give team orders via manufacturer? It does stink, but I feel like if the roles were reversed, Brad Keselowski would have done the same thing. So it kind of stinks if you're a Keselowski and Ford man, but I feel like they all do it. So I don't know. I didn't see it as race manipulation, but feel free to disagree. That's just my take on it. Hey, BB, sorry I've been absent as of late, but I really appreciate your channel. I appreciate you too as well, Glenn Park, and thanks for hanging out with us here today. OJ and Toothpaste on Earth 2. Stage breaks have a red flag. All the drivers get out on the backstretch and taking shots of Don Julio to get back racing. Drink responsibly, race responsibly. Let's see. And on Earth 2, obviously, Don Julio is NA. Don Julio NA, because that's what's popular. Nope, Latford system didn't have bonus points for halfway mark. The only bonus points drivers got were for leading laps, says Chrome Diesel. Let's see. So it was a money thing at halfway. Then it was a money thing. You got a extra bonus, a money bonus for halfway. Then let's see. Gen 4 plate racing were great. Watched the 07 Aaron's 499 last night. Stewart flipping off David Gilliland. BB, you excited for the double-decker taco to come back? I am. And Bob Jenkins, the Front Row Motorsports owner, he owns like 300 or something Taco Bells. So what we need Taco Todd. We need double-decker, or what is it? Was it double layer? What's that thing called? We need a double-decker Taco Todd car. So that's what we need. We need Taco Todd. We've had Pickle Todd. We've had Peanut Todd. We need Taco Todd. We need Taco Todd Tuesdays. So we need a Front Row Bob Jenkins. If you're listening, we need a Taco Bell Taco Todd car. We'll make it happen. Make it happen. Let's see. I was not for having stage breaks at road courses until Watkins Glen and the Indy Road Course last season. One caution between two races combined was boring. Fix this car would be for no brakes. And I would be for no brakes. I got you. To be honest, I don't mind the advertised truck race length, but we need to remove stage brakes for all three series. Yeah, I feel like the shorter the races get, the less necessary a stage brake is needed. But that's just my opinion. Gen 4 was great. I don't think you need stage brakes, period, but that's just me. Gen 4 was great everywhere, but I'm biased to the next gen. On Earth 2, NASCAR went back to Gen 4 and has 1,200 horsepower with a supercharger, no doubt. I personally despise the current car more and more. The whole mentality of the spec car is just flawed, says Chrome Diesel. It's not, in my opinion, it's not ideal as a racer, but it sort of is what it is. Kenny Wallace puts on some good streams, in my opinion. Yeah, Kenny Wallace does a great job with his channel, and the fact that he's now part of the Dirty Mo deal, that's going to be I think that's going to end up being a great thing, especially with Ken Schrader. I think a lot of people are going to like what Ken Schrader has to say as well. The roof flaps got a ton of glazing this week because of Austin Cindric getting airborne, but these cars don't flip from the back. They flip from the side. Indeed. Earth 2, they still run the Winston Cup points, says next gen. 96 here today. Is it really hoodie weather there? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's like in the 50s, I think. At least when I walked in. Is your season over? Points paying season is over. So but there's well, Orange County's still running for their points, but the regular NASCAR points paying season is over. Yeah. Craig's still running for points in the vintage class, and we still got Lane Woods running for points over there at OCS. The only reason Cindric got airborne was because of the hits directly to the wheels. Because when you touch the wheels with someone in this car, you can always launch the car in the air. Race manipulation, nah, but Keselowski blocked a Chevy and let a Ford get by at the last second, so it's all fair, says Lloyd. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to race for your manufacturer, and you don't even need team orders for that. That's just part of being competitive, in my opinion. So it is what it is. I don't know, but obviously, you know, if you're a Keselowski fan and your guy lost, you're gonna angle to get your guy a win, right? So it is what it is. BB has the best swag. Kyle Larson or Daniel Suarez. Kyle Larson has a really good merch trailer, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, man, Daniel Suarez, he's probably got the best gear out there. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll go with Suarez there. I'm going to go with Suarez. To say it's race manipulation is stupid. Yes, teams will favor their manufacturer over a rival family. It's called teams for a reason. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Pickle Todd and Taco Todd, says OJ and Toothpaste. Taco Todd is great. Branding, LOL, says Chrome Diesel. Free tacos for top 10 finishes. There you go. Yes, it's very common and nothing unusual for teams to work together. Yeah, I didn't see anything about it that was sort of over the line. BB is Ultimate Dragon, the best YouTube channel for NASCAR. Ultimate Dragon, that's like a wrestler, right? Not 100% sure. Let's see here. Schrader needs to Ultimo Dragon. That was the wrestler versus the Great Muta. Japanese wrestling. Schrader needs a cam and a mic upgrade. Dirty Mo better get on that, says Duke Chronic. O2 Brickyard 400 was won by Bill Elliott. He had almost 70 less horsepower than the competition. Aero and handling played a big role. Yeah, he had like a quarter. What year was it? I can't remember. Oh, O2 Brickyard. Never mind. I was thinking about 80 something. But yeah, definitely aero and handling play a huge deal in it. But never sleep on horsepower. Horsepower is always good. The best thing about Long John Silver's is you can it can last up to 5 days after you eat it. It never leaves you hungry, says Mr. Monk. Hey, I like Long John Silver's, man. They got it going on. They've sponsored a lot of people this year. Long John Silver's, I think, a family company to Taco Bell. I think that's why he goes with that on the side of the car, because they probably don't pull in as much money as Taco Bell's right now. But yeah, so we might have had a Taco Todd, but we need a double decker Taco Todd car. I'm not sure if we've ever had a Taco Todd car, but we need one if we haven't. Let's see. And Lionel needs to make it a diecast if it happens to Lionel, whatever they're called. Lionel. Does anyone know if Charlotte's weather is not going to be an issue? It's hard to tell with a hurricane, so I don't know. They're at least at the road course though, so we can go with the damp weather rain tires, whatever you want to call them. I know this won't be a popular opinion. Inducted NASCAR Cup drivers with 10 wins and absent a championship into the NASCAR Hall of Fame is like 16 championship contenders. Says Jamie Schweitzer. I mean, that's out of my hands. I'm not on that list of who votes people in. So it is what it is. I would have certain people already voted in that aren't in there, like Smokey Unick. That's a glaring missing person that needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Lovey Barkley. I can also back up my wheel statement with the fact that Logano literally did it in the same crash. Larson may not have done that on purpose, but probably for the best, because Ricky would have never let that go if it helped Brad win, considering they're friends, says Dirty Duff. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Does anyone like the Roval? I'm just not looking forward to it at all, especially in the playoffs. Well, I personally like the Roval, and I know I'm in the you're in the majority, Lloyd. So yes, most people do hate the Roval. I like the Roval because I think it's a cool concept for the fact that you get a complete road course, and if you sit high enough up at Charlotte, you can see just about the entire road course. So I do like it from that perspective. I do think there are some things that they could tweak to make it a better race, though. So yeah, there are some things that they could tweak to make it better. We're getting prepared for Milton here in Daytona Beach, but anyway, my pick for Sunday is Chase Elliott. That's pretty good pick. Double Decker McDowell says in between the lanes. There you go, Double Decker McDowell. I think he's had a Taco Bell car they've had one before. I just can't remember if Todd has run the scheme yet or not. I like the Roval, but this new car is a joke, says Chrome Diesel. Ultimo was wasted in WCW, says one wise guy. He was for sure. All of the Japanese wrestlers and luchadors back in the 90s were wasted in WCW. BB Bill Elliott, red number 9 or Coors number 9. What's the best scheme? I'll go with the Coors. I think the Coors car was the better look, but I do like the Evernham 9. The Evernham 9 looks better, but the white and red with that little hint of gold puts it over the top for me on the Coors car. OJ, I honestly don't know anyone who goes to Long John Silver's. Hey, what's up? Say Kyle. Now you know someone that goes to Long John Silver's. Like, how do they possibly afford to stay open, much less sponsor cup cars? LOL. Says Say Kyle. That's probably because they got a lot of profits at the back door. I'm guessing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Bodega. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. No, they do pretty good business. They just don't do the type of business I would imagine that McDonald's and all those other restaurants do. And that's why they probably sponsor them on the car because it's part of the Taco Bell ownership group. So they're probably putting Long John Silver's trying to promote them to sort of pick up their business. That was, I talked to a guy that worked at RCR when Payday was sponsoring PJ Bryant. He does shocks now. He was telling me this. He said the reasoning for putting Payday on Kevin Harvick's car back in the day was that was their least best selling candy. So they put it on the side of Kevin Harvick's car. And I told him, I was like, well, you know what? It worked. I was like, because that's the only reason I ever tried or ate a Payday. And he just straight laughed at me. So he got a kick out of that. PJ Bryant, great dude, great shock guy. If you need shocks for your late models, I wish I had the sticker here. But yeah, call PJ Bryant. He'll get you straight. Great shot guy, former RCR man, and overall just a really good dude. Long John Silver's has the best hush puppies. They do have good hush puppies. Good call there. Joining late. What's up? Says Delmar Kaufman. What diecast do you want to see get produced? BB. I don't know. There's a few. I was always disappointed they never made. So I guess if you go far enough back, the 42 Mellow Yellow when Kyle Larson ran that. I know, surprise, right? Kyle Larson. But Kyle Larson, when he ran the 42 Mellow Yellow throwback, they never made that because they couldn't get naming rights from Coca-Cola. But I always wanted that. I always wanted that diecast. You can get it as a custom, but nobody ever, Action or Lionel, never actually produced it. If Homestead gets postponed due to Milton, could it go automatically as a final race this year? It absolutely could. It happened one year, 2001 with everything that went on. That happened. I think New Hampshire was the final race that year on Thanksgiving. Finale, says Chrome Diesel. The next gen car is good. They just need to let teams mess around with the car. Yeah, a little more leeway to do some things to the car might help it run better for sure. I can't keep up with all the controversy. A door, a roof, a toe, a Daniel. What else you got? Says like this. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Like I feel like it was a great Talladega race, and then there's all this there's all this post race stuff that hey, this happened and this happened. I don't know. I just enjoyed the race. Nothing about it is going to change the winner. So well, unless they do the door thing. So maybe I shouldn't even say that. So I don't know. What changes at the Roval might be a big mistake if the cars catch air in turn 6, says Duke Chronic. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that one, Duke Chronic. BB, the most annoying commercial during NASCAR this year. Got to be the Limu Emu or whatever those commercials are. They're getting mighty tiresome. BB, what's your favorite beer sponsored car? Favorite scheme would probably have to be Coors. I'll take it back to Bush with Cale Yarborough, the blue and gold and white Bush car that Cale Yarborough drove. That was probably the all timer. Even though I wasn't old enough to really see that one run, or if I was old enough, I don't remember it. I was too young to remember it. But that was probably my favorite beer car. Terry Labonte's number 11 Bud car, also a good one. So those would be my two classic ones that look the best. Bill Elliott would have to be back there as a classic as well. But as far as modern new ones, they had a Miller Lite one. Rusty Wallace's Miller Genuine Draft that was all black and gold, and Sterling Marlin's Coors 40, the Silver Bullet. Those would have to be sort of the modern day best ones. And then of course, everybody liked the Dale Jr. Budweiser car too, so that probably sold the most. How could anyone enjoy watching a Roval after last weekend's 4 wide fast speed? That's probably a good point. Maybe schedule the Roval to after a short track. You don't want to follow up a super speedway with a Roval. Good point, Lloyd Barnes. Four wide, lots of passes each lap. Rovals are slower speeds and very few passes for the lead. Follow the leader isn't fun. Number 9, Melling Tools, says Delmar Kaufman. Uh, who are you favoring for the Xfinity race right now, AJ or SVG? I'm going to go with SVG. AJ has struggled at the road courses this year, but he's undefeated at the Roval. Yeah, if I had to pick a head-to-head, I'd go SVG on that one. Sadly, the nearest Long John Silver's is 40 minutes from home. It used to be 10 minutes from home. Any updates on the SRX lawsuit? I haven't heard anything as of yet. Willie Mays is here. Says next gen. When I go by Long John Silver's, only one car in the parking lot. The only person working laughed my butt off. Says OJ and Toothpaste. Was that why they put the Baby Ruth on the 24? I'm not sure about the Bill Davis deal, but I know back in the day, because that was I think Baby Ruth was I can't remember if they were owned by Nestle or not. I think it was Baby Ruth by somebody else back then. I forget the name of the company. I don't remember if it was Nestle that owned them just yet or not. But that's a different company. But Harvick with the Reese's deal, that's why they put Payday on the side of theirs. Long John Silver's was owned by Yum Brands, Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, but they sold Long John Silver's in 2011. Okay, so maybe they're not the same group anymore. Stop with the Long John Silver's. I'm getting hungry, says Next Gen. I predict Xfinity race Saturday will have lots of cautions due to the fact that many drivers need to stay in the playoffs. Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna go hard for sure. Things left at Talladega was great by Break Hard. Yeah, the black couch. That's always they always post it on social media. So that's really cool that Break Hard. He's on it, man. He's on it. He's on the money, dude. I like that guy. He's good at what he does, no doubt about it. Glad he made an episode. I'm gonna have to go check that out now. I'm gonna check it as soon as I'm done here. I'm gonna go watch his episode. You watch his episode too if you haven't seen it. Break Hard, always doing a good job. Liberty Mutual, Liberty Bibberty. Yep, that's it. In between the lanes. I thought Timu Shop, like a millionaire, is down to hell. The most boring, annoying commercial says Chrome Diesel. Rusty Wallace Miller Lite for Lloyd Barnes, Old Milwaukee Tim Richmond. See, I don't remember the Old Milwaukee Tim Richmond, but I remember the Folgers car, the coffee machine. The bent carrot commercials bothered me a lot. It was too bad they were brought. It was so bad they brought it up on DBC. Yeah, that was that this year or last year though? That was pretty bad. Dupuytren's contraction. They ran that one. It wasn't annoying, but they ran it to death. I got a heart like a truck. They ruined that one pretty good there. Let's see. Who took you to your first NASCAR race? My dad. My dad took me to my first NASCAR race. Blue Deuce number 2, says Mark Barnum. Sterling Marlin's Silver Bullet was freaking awesome, says Lloyd Barnes. Yeah, the Silver Bullet was one of the greatest of all time. Denny joked about them putting a jump in one of those tracks. NASCAR said, "Let me introduce you to turn 7." Says, I like dislike. And then you got the Turtles over there at Charlotte as well. So we'll see if Corey LaJoy paints another Ninja Turtle on the Charlotte Roval as well. Bud number 8 car, says Next Gen. So there you go. Bud number 8, always going to be a lot of people's favorite over there with Junior. The real question with Junior is do you like the E thing on the side, or did you like it when it just had a bunch of stripes on the side? I was a big fan of when it had a bunch of stripes on the side. A lot of people like the legendary like 3E looking thing. But I actually liked it the other way, the OG original version with just a bunch of stripes on the side. I think the changes at the Roval will help SVG in both series and added practice in Cup. Do you think Xfinity gets extra practice? I hope they get extra practice, but you never know with NASCAR. Nice stream. Thanks so much. No problem there, Lloyd Barnes. Thanks for hanging out, my friend. Xfinity will have 50 minutes practice as a whole. Cup, as usual, will be 20 minutes. So Xfinity will get 30 extra minutes. Raycard, the official social media guy and team manager of BB and I, could also hire David Land as a member of the team as well, BB, to work with Breakard. Yeah, David Land, we'll get him on board when you go to Open Wheel. He's the Open Wheel Connect for sure. Blue Chew commercials are bizarre because young children watch the races. Yeah, hopefully they don't know what they're talking about or what the people are talking about in the commercial. Shrek 1, Shrek 2, or Shrek 3, what's the best movie? You got to go with the OG. OG Shrek is always the best one. Ooh, Team U. It's like chalk on nail on a. It's like nails on a chalkboard, says Tom Strawmeyer. So yeah, the Temu commercials are starting to wear people thin. That's another one, I guess, starting to get to the volume of it. They're just doing a whole lot of them. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Do I know him? I don't know, Duke Chronic. I'm not sure I know the Muffin Man. First NASCAR race for me was Richmond Fairgrounds, 1976. My mom took me Looking back on it, I admire it. A mom taking their son to a NASCAR race back in those days. Yarborough won. Good win. Good. Glad you got to see him win. I know your guy is Richard Petty, but you got to see old Kale win. Kale, one of my all time favorites. I don't really remember him racing, but he was just always one of my favorites. He was down to like part time by the time I was sort of cognizant of things, for sure. But I want to say my first race. I don't really remember it, but I think my first race was NASCAR Cup race was Darlington. No doubt about it. Wow, SVG and AJ will have double the track time than anybody due to no Cup drivers being allowed to drive in the Xfinity playoffs, says Dirty Def. Blue Chew is a Sour Patch Candy to them kids, says OJ and Toothpaste. That's true, hopefully. It's never ogre till it's ogre, says 1400 next gen. How's your studio coming along? Still working on it? Yeah, we're putting in work on both studios. Right now, the satellite studio has a mannequin in it, a light box, and it looks like a storage building except for where except for where my computer goes. But the next studio that we're building down there is going to be pretty pretty massive. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Got a lot going on there, and then the studio over here. If it ever stops raining, and I can go outside and make some cuts in wood, we'll get that one. We'll get this one. Hopefully, at least we'll get the walls up over here on this one. Are the trucks off this weekend? Uh, are they off? I don't know. Let's take a look here. Where is the schedule? Homestead, Miami is the next truck race. So that's going to be Saturday, October 26th. So, yes, the trucks are off this weekend, according to the NASCAR schedule I just pulled up, which may or may not be accurate. BB, do you remember the Shrek Home Depot car? I do remember the Shrek Home Depot car. Like dislike. Yeah, till Homestead, says Chrome Diesel. What is your Halloween custom going to be? I don't really have a Halloween custom. I don't know. Halloween's cool. I guess I watch a bunch of scary movies and stuff. I don't know. Any projects or jobs this week? Uh, Not really. I probably could get one in. I don't know. It's all going to depend on the weather, really. Uh, I know they got a race at Orange County, so I'll probably be helping out there until race day. I don't really go there on race day, so I don't know. We can probably get something knocked out project wise this weekend. I personally don't think it's dumb that NASCAR advertises themselves during broadcast, like we aren't watching because we know about the sport already, and then they show nothing during the week. Yeah, they they've definitely scaled back the advertising as to when the races are coming on. Miller sponsored Stavola Brothers in the '80s with Bobby. Oh yeah, the Miller car. I can't believe I forgot that one. That's the all timer. You're right, Brickyard Brickhead. I'm going to go with you on that one. Miller High Life Gold Car. That is without question my favorite. So all the ones I said previous to that, I can't believe I forgot that one. Miller High Life car for sure. Bobby Allison, Bobby Hillen. Yeah, good call there, Brickyard Brickhead. That's my favorite. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know how I let that one slip my mind. When the camera turns on, the brain goes empty. BB, would you do a stream with Kenny Wallace? Would love to do a stream with Kenny Wallace. Stream with Kenny Wallace would be iconic, says Rosie. Indeed, it would. Kenny Wallace is like just a really good dude. Like you can tell, he raced with Marcus Richmond, the RNS, Steve Stallings, Marcus Richmond. He raced for them. So a lot of guys said he raced for them, said he's a really cool guy, really down to earth, really nice guy. So super cool. I think he raced at South Boston this year for him. So super cool dude. Always wishing him the best luck. And he's with the Dirty Mo gang now. So he's doing big things. Dick Trickle drove the Miller High Life car also. He did, indeed. There was the 99 Miller High Life car, and that looked really good because it was on a IROC Z body type Camaro, so that thing was looking slick back in the day. BB, do you like Ken Schrader? I do like Ken Schrader. Number 90 Red Baron car, probably my favorite Ken Schrader scheme of all time. Next to the number 49 with Carrot Top's face. Anytime there's a face on the hood, I think that's hilarious. So Carrot Top's face being on the hood of the 49 for Ken Schrader, that was a pretty good scheme. Red Baron number 94, though, that was probably an iconic one. He drove a pretty iconic Budweiser 25. He drove the 25 for Folgers. Him and Tim Richmond shared that paint scheme, so that was a really good looking one. He's had a lot of good schemes. The Kodiak cars that he drove are probably, when I think of Ken Schrader, I do think of the Kodiak car first. So I'd have to say that one's iconic as well, even though most people associate that Kodiak scheme with the number 27 of Rusty Wallace, because it was a pretty similar scheme. But yeah, What was I talking about? Anyway, also at Talladega, Blaney took his third Earnhardt level hit into the wall. He has a championship, so I think it's safe to say he retires early. Says Lovey Barkley. Yeah, hopefully he isn't badly hurt by that for sure. BB, thanks for a great show. Covered a lot of ground from beer sponsored cars to Timu and nary a mention of the pending NASCAR lawsuit. Says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, we touched. I guess I touched on it very briefly. I just mentioned it at the beginning, but yeah, that was that has been sort of special. Yeah, we haven't talked about it much if we've talked about it at all. Is Red Baron Pizza? I was not expecting that. I'm with you on that. I thought that would cover a lot more. Is Red Baron Pizza better than Little Caesars? Oh, 100%. The cardboard that Little Caesars comes in is better than the actual pizza. If you just put the cheese on the cardboard from Little Caesars and ate the cardboard with cheese, it would taste almost better than the actual pizza they give you, in my opinion. I hate Little Caesars. Sponsor me. If you want to sponsor me, Little Caesars, just get with me. Let me know. I will continue to talk well about you. I don't take sponsorships. That's the joke. Let's see. Legacy has a lot of changes going on, says Delmar Kaufman. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many people come back from Legacy this year. Thanks, BB, says Dirty Def. No problem, Dirty Def. Always good to hang out. BB met Kenny Wallace at Watkins Glen. Is the nicest person as you're going to have on the show. Yeah, Kenny Wallace, like, I don't know if you guys saw the episode when he was just in like a Texas Roadhouse and he went out and talked and he just saw a guy standing in the background and he could tell that guy wanted to be on camera. So he just, hey, come over here. And he just started talking to him on the stream. I was like, that is the most epic thing. That told me everything I need to know about Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace, just a really, you can tell he's just a really good dude, man. Kenny Wallace for president of NASCAR. Good luck on Thursday. We both need it, says one wise guy. Little Caesars on the 19 BB says in between the lanes, no doubt about it. After they see what I just said there, they're 100% gonna want to be on the side of the car. OJ and Toothface laughing about the I guess the Little Caesars comment. Doesn't JJ have another start this year? I don't know. Duke Chronic saying Herm for president. There you go. Herm, Kenny and Kenny for president. So there you go. BB, so Little Caesars is the worst. I will off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody any worse fast food wise than, in my opinion, than Little Caesars. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put them at worst of the worst. Bumblebee, what's up? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing good today. Got plenty of sponsors, BB. Indeed, Jimmy Johnson will race at Phoenix this year. Okay, so Phoenix, I forgot he's racing at Phoenix. There you go. Jimmy Johnson got one more start at Phoenix. Hopefully, he can finish better than. Oh man, God, he's had some rough runs. Hopefully, he can finish better than 28th. He's just had a rough go of it since unretiring. But you can't hate on a guy that wants to get back in a race car. I totally understand it. Let's see. NASCAR, since NASCAR likes chaos, think Atlanta will ever be the last race again. Never say never. I would love to see NASCAR, and we've talked about this before. I would love to see NASCAR rotate the final race and just have different people, different tracks be the final race. Just got home. All right, good. So hopefully you are well rested. Looks like the Milton is going to miss you, so that's good. Stop slandering Little Caesars. Oh, so Rosie is a Little Caesars fan. Sorry about that, Rosie. Different strokes for different folks. I'm just not a little. It's not for me. There's all kinds of stuff I like. Bologna burgers are not for certain people, so don't get me wrong. I'm not for Little Caesars. It's all good though. If you like Little Caesars, ignore what I have to say. It's your taste buds, not my taste buds. Enjoy yourself. I miss NASCAR race day in the morning before the race. Oh, that was cool back in the day. Jimmy Johnson will win Phoenix, says OJ and Toothpaste. That would be crazy. I just hope he doesn't finish. He's had such a bad run. I hope he has just a good run in Phoenix. Like, I hate to see anybody have bad luck like they've had. Dunkin' Donuts food is horrible, says like dislike. I can't say that I've ever had food from Dunkin' Donuts. Just coffee and donuts. He crashes in every start he's had this year except for like 2. Yeah, he's had a rough go of it. DiGiorno is good. Pizza on the frozen pizza side, same as Freshetta. Add those to the sponsor list. There you go. Red Baron, DiGiorno, and Freshetta. It's gonna be a monster juggling all those to get them to work along to be on the car at the same time. But we'll do it. We'll make it happen. We'll just make a longer car so you can't see. They'll get one corner of the car. So like it'll be DiGiorno on this side, Freshetta on this side. So they'll just never know who's on the other side. We just won't let them walk to the other side of the car. You can't be half in and half out and cut. Yeah, especially with this new car, at least according to Kevin Harvick. That's what he says. It's like you got to be there every week. Can JJ really say he's getting on track? He's getting the track in for legacy. Says one wise guy. I don't know. He's you can tell he's definitely starting for the money to help the team out, but I don't know if he's helping the team out with all those wrecks and stuff. Little Caesars is the worst pizza ever, says OJ and Toothpaste. So he's on team not Little Caesars. Rosie is team Little Caesars, so it's all good. Yeah, we'll get wind and the rain, but it's not going to be too bad. I'm more worried about Florida. Yeah, hopefully all the people in Florida are safe. Hopefully none of the publics go down, and hopefully they lock in and do their thing down there and can get through it, get through another one. They are well versed in getting through them, so hopefully it won't be too bad for them. NASCAR won't let Atlanta be the final race because it's SMI track. NASCAR is determined to have the finale at their own track. That's a good point, Chrome Diesel. Crazy Bread is still good. IndyCar. So I will say this: back in the day, Little Caesars was amazing, but they did something to change their formula after the '90s, and it's just not the same anymore. IndyCar is getting a Texas street race. I did see where they've got George Kittle as a sponsor for Little Caesars. So the Little Caesar bites or whatever that he's selling, I'm sure they're delicious because George Kittle's awesome. Let's see. IndyCar is getting a Texas street race in 2026. Hey, there you go. So maybe NASCAR can get in on some of that Texas street racing. Dunkin' Donuts is bad too, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, like I said, I've just had the donuts and the coffee. Dunkin' Donuts to the 19. Could you imagine a Dunkin' Donuts car? That would be pretty cool looking. To be fair, I'm a vegetarian, and cheese pizza is kind of the same regardless. I love the crazy bread too. Hey, so there you go. Cheese pizza is pretty much the bomb. Vegetarian or not, cheese pizza is pretty much the bomb.com, no matter where you're at. If you're ever on the East Coast, Rosie, and you're near a Mellow Mushroom, since you're a vegetarian, I would highly suggest checking out a Mellow Mushroom if you're ever on the East. I don't know where you're at, but Mellow Mushroom, I think it's just Mellow Mushrooms in Georgia, or I think it's like Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina is Mellow Mushroom. So if you live in that area and know of Mellow Mushroom, check them out. Probably the best vegetarian stuff I've ever eaten. If you live in North Carolina, there's a place in Raleigh called Remedy. That's all vegetarian and vegan, so that place is pretty good too. Let's see, BB Pizza Hut. Depending on where you live, you probably live nowhere near anywhere I just mentioned, so I don't know. BB Pizza Hut, Papa John's, or Hunt Brothers. What's the best and worst? Hunt Brothers is the worst, and Hunt Brothers is also the worst. I'll take Papa John's as the best there and put Pizza Hut in the middle. If Cindric is in the lead, expect bad things from the rest of the team. Penske goggles does it again. Out goes Logano, takes out Logano, says E. Damon. BK gave him a nudge, but his spaghetti arms couldn't hold the car, says E. Damon. I ate my fair share of Pizza Hut over the years. I still got a special place for meat lovers. I do like the stuffed crust. The stuffed crust at Pizza Hut used to be the bomb. E. Damon with the cool glasses on. Talking about goggles up there, I guess. BB, what's better, Chicago deep dish versus New York style? If I'm cooking at home, I prefer Chicago deep dish, but if I'm ordering out, I like New York style. So how's that for a convoluted, politically correct answer? I guess I'll say New York style, but if I'm cooking at home, I do make a pretty good deep dish. Pizza Hut cheesy breadsticks are good. Krispy Kreme for the win. Krispy Kreme if the light's on. If the light's on. Definitely check them out. George Kittle, tight end, University, says in between the lanes. Jeremy Mayfield asked for Denny and MJ's lawyer info. Yeah, indeed. He's we'll see what kind of skeletons he's got that he can help him out with the receipts if he's got any. Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to go with Krispy Kreme on that deal. Every pizza chain company sucks, says E. Damon. So he's going with every pizza chain sucks. Pizza Hut and Domino's brownie battle. Who's better? Can't say that I've ever had either one's brownie, so I'm going to go tie there. Jet's gas station pizza, the best slice for a buck. Dollar pizza is good pizza, in my opinion. What's the official pizza of NASCAR? I think it's Pizza Hut. I think Pizza Hut's the official pizza, but I'll have to go check on that. Why is it might be Hunt Brothers though? I don't know. Why is Hunt Brothers the worst? Never ate it. They're not on the West Coast. It's gas station pizza, and typically by the time you get to it, it's been sitting for like 4 hours under a heat lamp, so it's always like dried out and just sort of grody by the time you get to it. In my opinion, what is the most surprising thing to you so far this season? Says one wise guy. I'm surprised that Eric Jones and Legacy have run as bad as they've run because the way they finished out last year, I really thought they had some momentum. So they're probably the biggest surprise to me. for sure. I thought Sam's Club has great prices for in-house pizza. Costco has pretty good in-house pizza. Costco hot dogs are always good. You got that dog in you. Chrome, they are, says Bumblebee. The Krabby Patty is coming to Wendy's. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wendy's is going to do a Krabby Patty deal. So that's for sure. Let's see. From race topics to donuts to pizza. What a great night to talk about. LOL, says Chrome Diesel. Casey's Pizza, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, so a lot of people like Casey's Pizza. I've never had that either. Rosie says, I live in Idaho, but I'll definitely try the mushroom place next time I'm in Atlanta. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, okay, no problem. So yeah, I'm not familiar with what's out in Idaho, but yeah, if you can get near a Mellow Mushroom, that place is pretty legit. I know they got one in Charlotte. I'm pretty sure they got one in Atlanta for sure. Mayfield rattled Earnhardt's cage, says Delmer Kaufman. Indeed. I was so furious that race, but turnabout is fair play. All things considered, if Mayfield and NASCAR ain't a lesson to always be nice to people, hey, there you go. Like I said on the video, hell hath no fury, like a race car, like a Jeremy Mayfield scorned. Do combos still sponsor NASCAR in any way? I think combos was part of the M&M's deal, so I haven't seen them in a while. Most chains, restaurants, food sucks compared to mom and pop's place. Oh, 100%, 100%. Michael Waltrip Racing used to have Domino's Pizza sponsorship until they left in '07 due to the cheating scandal. BB, does Costco have the best pizza and hot dogs? They got the cheapest hot dog. So I'll say they've got the cheapest hot dog. So it's hard to beat the deal over there at Costco. Costco, shout out to the owner for not letting the hot dogs go up, and shout out to the Arizona tea guy for not letting the Arizona tea in a can go above $1. They do have different Arizona offerings that cost more than $1 now, but the canned Arizona tea still 99¢. That dude's a legend. Costco guy, you're a legend as well. So yeah, shout out to those guys. I love to know what Mayfield has in his back. Me too. I want to see what he has. Would you ever do a pizza review with Dave Portnoy? Says in between the lanes. Dave Portnoy he's entertaining to watch on TV. I don't know if I would ever want to meet him in public because I feel like after about 10 minutes, I would be really annoyed with the conversation he was having. Like I would be like, dude, just please shut up. Please just stop talking. Stop talking now. I don't know. He's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I just don't see it working out. I don't know. Like I said, he's entertaining in 10-minute segments, but I don't know about hanging out for a whole day to film a pizza review with him. I don't know. Mayfield said what NASCAR is rigged for gambling aspect. I don't know if that's true. Seems doubtful. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what he's going to offer up to him. BB, are you sad Red Lobster is closing down? It was the endless shrimp. Endless shrimp got him, man. Like I knew that was a mistake when they offered it. You can't give people endless shrimp. We're going to eat endless shrimp. Costco pizza is terrible, but $1.50 for a hot dog is hard to beat, says E. Damon. Costco has a heck of a chocolate chip cookie, says one wise guy. If BB did a pizza review with Dave, he'd have to travel up north. There's no good pizza outside of the tri-state area, says E. Damon. So he's going with there's only good pizza in New York. That is such a New York thing to say, my friend, but it's all good. I appreciate the comment there. I'll tell you what, the best pizza I ever had in my life, I can't remember the name of the place off the top of my head, but it's actually in downtown Indianapolis. It's right across from the oh, wow. It's really close to where they play basketball. Is it Market Square Arena or where do they call it now? The new place that they play basketball. It's sort of near that. I'll have to look it up. That now that I've mentioned them, sponsor me below as soon as I figure out what your name is. I have name dropped you and I can't remember your name. God, he's so dumb. Why? I think Mayfield is just trying to get his name talked about. Could be $1.38 hot dog combo at Sam's Club, says Chrome Diesel. So shout out to Sam's Club. They're keeping it real too. Mayfield was sponsored by Little Caesars. There have been several Little Caesars cars. Now Chase Elliott's Little Caesars car was pretty nice. I think the 37 Little Caesars car was when Mayfield and John Andretti, I think, drove that one. I saw Sunny D has a adult beverage now. Says 1,400 horsepower next gen. So there you go. Sunny D. All right. Oh, they got Sunny D. All right. Let's see. El Presidente seems rude, says one wise guy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's necessarily rude. He's all the way New York. I think where he's from, that's not necessarily rude. That's more like he feels like he's telling it like it is. I don't think he sees it as being rude. It's just a different culture, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm extroverted, and I just feel like he talks too much and has little to say of value for my time on this planet. But it is what, and I don't dislike him. I'm just saying, 10 minutes at a time, we'd be good. After 10 minutes, we're good. I don't need to be on a podcast or anything like that with him. BB, did you take advantage of the endless shrimp? I would have for sure. Says OJ and toothpaste. I did not because the Red Lobster near me is not really near me, so it's kind of a drive. Red Lobster, cheddar biscuits are good. I think the Red Lobster closed before they did endless shrimp around here. So no, I didn't even have a chance to get to it. Oh, the cheddar bit, yeah, so the Cheddar Bay biscuits are good. That's probably what they're most famous for. Keanu Reeves did a GT race at Indianapolis a few days ago. Yeah, he raced twice, once on Saturday and once on Sunday. He was with the Dude Perfect guys. That was his teammate. Stay away from gas station ribs, says Bumblebee. That's right. Only eat the gas station sushi. Stay away from the gas station ribs. BB, who was better, Steve Park or Michael Waltrip? I'll say Steve Park was probably better at non-super speedway tracks. Michael Waltrip was the better super speedway track driver. We'll never know the full answer to that because Steve Park got the injury in the Busch Series, Xfinity Series, Nationwide Series race, whatever you want to call it. Boju's in Denver is awesome pizza, so I'll have to check that one out. I've never been to Denver. I don't think I've ever been through or to Colorado. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I make a stop up there. Elliott won 2019 Talladega, wheeling the Little Caesars Mountain Dew scheme, says Chrome Diesel. Mountain Dew has hard alcohol cans too. I will never try it though. Says OJ and Toothpaste. RC Cola was on the 37 car also. RC Cola, so good. RC Cola was also on the 86 for Stacy Compton, City of Compton. He's in the grandstands at South Boston. South Boston legend, Stacy Compton. Stay away from gas station hard-boiled eggs. Stay away from hard-boiled eggs, period. By the way, I have a die cast of that truck. BB, who's a better driver, Casey Kane or Ryan Newman? I'm going to go with Casey Kane there. But Ryan Newman, he's no slouch, that's for sure. I don't eat anything from a gas station that doesn't come in a small bag or some plastic or cardboard. You tell him, Lovey Barkley, never trust it. Never trust it. Let's see. Best military paint scheme. It's going to be the Air Force. Now, which Air Force scheme? Obviously, the Bubba Wallace A10 paint scheme with the like basically the shark tooth design. That's up there. Eric Jones with the red tails is up there, and then the white one with the red nose. Those are probably my three favorites, and I know they're all Air Force. It's just the way I happen to pick them there. Those are probably my three favorite military schemes or whatever. Bobby Hamilton Jr. with the Marine scheme, though, back in the day, that all red car, 25 or 35, whatever he ran, that thing was pretty nice too, though. I gotta say that for sure. Let's see. Boju's has a deal that if one person can eat their large combo in 1 hour, you get it for free. If not, it's $50 and it weighs 10 pounds. Good luck. Yeah. So good luck with that. I'm not putting 10 pounds of any food in me. That just seems like a bad day. You're definitely going to get sodium sweats because it's all processed. So, oh man, I don't know. You got to be a tough guy or a tough person to finish that one. I think I read somewhere like the human stomach can only take 3 pounds of food. So 10 pounds, if you're doing that, that's impressive. Impressive. Let's see. Pizza Hut has great food until you eat good pizza at Papa John's, says Mr. Monk. I would stay away from truck stop hot dogs. I haven't eaten them for 4 years. There was the crazy, I don't know. I watch too much stuff sometimes in my free time, but some dude got nachos and it like really messed him up. He almost died from it. So yeah, I stay away from all gas station food. That's not like somebody said, that's not in a bag. Better driver, Carl Edwards versus Brad Keselowski. Ooh. I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. But it's hard to say because Carl Edwards, he left at the peak of his powers. So you never saw, like, could Carl Edwards be like Kevin Harvick, or would Carl Edwards be a guy that just gradually sort of got, worse and worse? Or would he be like a Kevin Harvick or a Martin Truex Jr. that like the longer he stayed, kind of he just stayed at a level. So it's hard to say with Carl Edwards because he left literally in his peak. So I don't know. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to call. I'm a construction worker. I live off 7-Eleven food. Hey, thank heaven 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven does have a fresh food center in Charlotte, which sends all the food when I'm up in Burlington and I'm working up there. Burlington has a 7-Eleven right across the road. So I know the food there is pretty fresh at all times. So 7-Eleven I would say 7-Eleven, Wawa, and Sheets are a little bit of an exception to the gas station rule. I'm talking about gas stations that aren't 7-Eleven, Sheets, or Wawa. That's the real question. Philadelphia people, let me know. Is it Wawa or are you a Sheets person? That's the debate. That's what we need to know. Sheets has had a race car, and I think way back in the day, Wawa had a race car. Sheets most recently, I want to say, was on either Kyle Busch or Tyler Reddick. I think it was Tyler Reddick that ran the Sheets car, and that Sheets car was a good looking car. I think back in the day, though, Wawa did have a car. Car was good, but Brad has a championship, says Delmar Kaufman. The nachos ain't nachos. I think it was actually the cheese had like some type of bacteria in it or something like that. So be very careful. BB, your favorite Lunchables, nacho cheese and ham or the pizza, says OJ and toothpaste. I was not a fan of the pizza because the pizza sauce was nasty. So I'll just go. I ate the turkey and cheese. I guess that was my favorite Lunchable. But Lunchables were always like, even as a little kid, a Lunchable was just enough to irritate you, just enough to make you hungry. So I don't know. My favorite part of the school lunch was the chocolate milk, but for literally, God, I'll say from middle school until I graduated high school, I ate the same thing every day: cheese pizza, chocolate milk, and like 6 crinkle cut French fries. I ate that. I ate that every day from middle school until high school, and I never got tired of it. Like that's just what I ate. Just a the square, the rectangle pizza, the crinkle cut fries, like 6 of them in a little tray to the side, and a chocolate milk. That was school lunch back in the day. And God, I can't imagine eating the same thing for lunch every day now, but like I did, and I didn't even think about it, nor did it affect me or bother me back then. Let's see. Let's see who's better, Suarez or Wallace. Probably tit for tat. They're probably about the same. I don't know. I think they got this. They both got 2 wins, right? So literally, I think if you look at their stats, they're probably tit for tat about the exact same. Like I said, they're a Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon type dude. They can get the job done, but they're not going to be, at least at this point in their career, they're not going to be the guy that goes out there and wins you 10 or 12 races. Bucky's has the best gas station food. Oh yeah, so the brisket at Bucky's is without a doubt the best gas station food. Chrome Diesel going with Sheets, so he's a Sheets man over Wawa. Wawa sponsors the second Xfinity race at Daytona, says Lovey Barkley. So I'm a Coast Guard vet. Was hoping Coast Guard schemes would get some love. So yeah, so the Coast Guard back in the day, Delmar Kaufman, Justin Labonte had a really nice looking Coast Guard scheme, and that one is a really nice one because it's got that orangish red in there with and it was like a mostly white car, and then you had a little bit of blue highlight. That was a good looking car. I didn't even think about that one. So yeah, it's always hard to do it off the top of your head. But I would still have to say one of those Air Force schemes were the best. Let's see, Oreos, white milk, ravioli, middle through high school, said Mac Attack. Wawa sponsors Natalie. It's Natalie Decker's car. That's exactly who I was trying to think of. And we were talking about Jersey Mike's the other day. The late model car that they sponsor is DR Waldrop. Not Waltrip, but Waldrop. Waldrop. He races up at like Langley and Dominion. I've seen him race, I think, at both of those tracks. He was at Martinsville this year, but he's got a really good looking Jersey Mike scheme on his car. So that's the Jersey Mike's car that I'm always like, I feel like they sponsored a NASCAR car before, but it's actually a late model. So that's who I was thinking of on the for maybe probably 10 live streams back. That's the Jersey Mike's car I was thinking of. I'm a big diesel customer at Sheets. Sheets says Chrome Diesel. So there you go. Chrome getting all the discounts there at the Sheets and stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool deal. What are the have you signed up for? Are you I think there's a French fries subscription or something like that, and like overall it comes out cheaper or something. I don't know. They got some crazy stuff going on with Sheets rewards and points there. What are the chances NASCAR gets smart and adds a street race in Vegas and takes advantage of everything? F1 got the city to do perfect town for it. I would love to see. I would love to see more activity or more action in Vegas for NASCAR, but we'll have to see. The McRib is the same rib sub from high school back in the day. It definitely is. It tastes the exact same. So it's definitely probably manufactured from the same company or whatever. My favorite school lunch was pepperoni pizza with corn with bacon bits in it. It was my own custom mix, says Tom Strohmeyer. Okay, so Tom Strohmeyer, he was making custom. Oh man, what school did you go to? They didn't let us customize Jack, dude. You just pointed at it, and they didn't even want you to talk. It was probably giving too much away here, but it's kind of it's kind of like being in prison. You pointed and you didn't give no back sass, and you got what you got, and you just kept the line moving. So it is what it is. Anyway, anyone else running in the chat? Like me, BB is on the big screen, and I pick up the phone to voice dictate when I want to make a comment. The epitome of lazy or efficient. LOL, says E. Damon Racing. Let's see. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I can see myself here on this screen, so I don't know. Let's see. Sub BB. What's cooler is single digit numbers, 7 or single digit numbers with 0. So if you're running the Jack Daniels car, '07 works better. It just depends on the sponsorship. So sometimes a 0 works in your favor. Sometimes the single digit looks better. It just depends on the sponsorship. Miss Vicky's chips from Jersey Mike's are good. I like the jalapeno ones. I had cookies and brownies from Jersey Mike's as well. Jersey Mike's is a pretty good deal for sure. You can get 2 hot dogs for $1 at Sheets. Let's see. Yeah, Sheets has pretty good deals depending on when you what day you go. I don't think a street race in Vegas would be wise because F1 race has a lot of problems, and a lot of people didn't like it. Says Lovey Barkley. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the traffic and stuff like that. What's up, Mark Langren? Good to see you on here, my friend. What kind of animal does McRib come from? It's not a pig. LOL. That's a good question. Probably whatever they scrape up off the floor at the meat factory where they're making the food. Same place the hot dogs come from. It would be my guess. McRib is mystery meat. Yep, it's. I will have to agree with you as far as that goes. All right. Looks like we reached the end of the chat here. Final results on the poll question are 63% saying no, 18% saying it's a trick question. NASCARs have no door, and 19% saying yes. So overwhelmingly, people, at least on this chat, believe that Ricky Stenhouse store was not a big deal to them. 106 votes. All right. That's all I got for this one. We'll do it again on Sunday. And until then, peace.